welcome back to the channel. In my last video, we learned the basics of lists in Python, what they are, how to create them, and how to access elements. If you missed that video, no worries. Just click the little eye icon in the top right corner to check it out first before jumping in here. Today, we are taking it to the next level. We are going to cover the most common and powerful list operations you will use in real-world coding. Let's get started. So, what are we gonna actually learn in list operations? So first, we are gonna learn length of a list. We are also gonna understand the function and followed by insert, followed by remove, and at last we will understand what the pop function does. So these are some of the list operations we use in Python. So to understand them, let's hop on in VS Code. Length of a list. Just like with strings, you can use the len function to find out how many items are in a list. Here I have created a list named fruit and I have inserted some items, orange, apple and banana. We can use the len function as I've written here to get the number of items present in a list. The len function here has two brackets, and in that brackets we pass the parameter, okay, and the parameter here we will pass is the list itself. The name of the list is fruit, so it takes that list and it checks the number of items present in that list and it gives us output in the form of a number. So let me run this piece of code and see what it will give me. So this len function with fruit as a parameter will return 3 because there are 3 fruits in the list. Simple, right? Next up, append. This is the go-to method when you want to add something to the end of a list. Here I have a list names and there are some names in the list and I want to add max into the list. So to do that, we will use the function append. The append takes the parameter, okay, the value, whatever you want to add in the list. So here I want to insert max into the list, and since it's a string, so I will use the double commas. And the syntax for it is, first you write the name of the list in which you want to append anything, then dot append and the brackets, and in those brackets you pass the parameter. And here it's max and I want to append max in this list, okay, so let's print this or let's see what we will get. And also I want to check the length of the list. As we can see, we have added max to the list and now the length is 5. Super handy and building lists dynamically. Want more control over where the item goes? Use insert. Insert takes 2 arguments, okay. The insert function takes 2 arguments, the index and the item to add. By index we mean at what index you want to insert that item and what item you want to insert. Simply 2 arguments, okay. So in this list, Dan, Ellie, Justin, and Perry, we want to insert max at the index 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. So what will happen? The Perry will go at index 4 and the max will go at index 3. Simple as that. Let's run this code and see what happens. And here max is now at index 3 and Perry is at index 4. Here max gets replaced between Justin and Perry. Now let's talk about remove. Remove function, okay. This removes the value you specify. What do I mean by that? Let's see by an example. Here I have a list numbers, okay. 10, 90, 23, 46, and negative 20. And I want to remove a specific number. Here I have taken 90. So I want to remove 90 from the list. Simply, I will give this argument in remove, and as I told you, name of the list dot. Okay, so it means that this function will take place with this list. Okay, and it will remove 90 from the list, and let's check it if it's true or not. And here we can see there's no 90 anymore, and the length of the item has been reduced to 4. It was 5. So that's how remove works. But here's something interesting. What happens when the item appears twice? Here in this list I have taken 90 twice. Okay, so I have a question to you. What happens if I now run this code, remove 90? What will happen? You can check it for yourself. Let me run the code here now. And here we can see the first 90 here at index 2 has been removed, but the second 90 at index 3 hasn't been removed. Okay, so the remove function only removes the first occurrence, the second one stays. So the first occurrence was removed and the second one was there. Okay, so what happens if the number appears twice? You can check it for yourself. Okay, now I have a question. Okay, a question to you and to myself. What if the item doesn't exist in the list? What happens? Here I have this list and the 100 here doesn't exist in the list. If I try to run this code, what will happen? It will give an error. Okay, let's run this and see here there is an error called value error. Okay, because the item is not in the list. So you have to be careful about that. We can handle this later as we go on with the series. Finally, let's look at pop. Pop is a versatile way to remove items. What do I mean by that? Let's take an example. Here I have a list numbers and I have few numbers in the list 10, 90, 23, 46 and negative 20. What I did, I wrote this numbers.pop. Okay, so by default pop removes the last item and even returns it so you can use it elsewhere. So by definition the pop will remove the last item, okay, that's negative 20, and store it. It will return it, okay, and we will store that in the removed number variable. This is a variable created by the user, by me, so it's not defined. Okay, it's not a keyword, nothing like that. We created it, and the removed number from the list, that is negative 20, it will return. Okay, and it's my choice if I want to save it or not. Here I saved it in this variable, so I can use it later elsewhere. And let's print all three, okay, variables: the list, the removed number, and the length of the list. So here I will uncomment this, save this, and let's run it. Before that, let me comment this so the program runs smoothly. So here we can see the list, okay, 10, 23, 90, 46 and negative 20. Okay, so here this is the last print, okay, numbers. So we can see the negative 20 has been removed and the length has been reduced to 4, from 5 to 4. And we also tried to print this variable remove number, and as I told you, whatever will be popped, whatever will be removed from the list will be saved here, and the negative 20 has been saved and printed on the console. So that's that. You can also pop a specific index like this. So here example, same the list. Okay, and this time I gave the index as an argument myself. Okay, so as I said before, in Python, negative indexing starts from the end. So this is -1, this will be -1, and this will be -2. So I want to pop 46. Okay, I didn't give directly. Okay, I gave the index. So it will pop 46 and store in the removed number, and then it's the same. Okay, so let's just run this too and see if you will get 46 as removed number. And yeah, there you have 46. But remember, this is very important. Okay, anytime you remove or add an item, the index of everything else changes. Okay, so anything which changes, then which has direct connection with the items, which can change the items. Okay, so you have to be careful anytime you use them. Okay, for example, you remove or add an item, the index of everything else changes, so be careful when doing operations in a loop. And that's a wrap on today's lesson. We learned how to get the length of a list and then remove items using append, insert, remove, and pop. If you found this helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and don't forget to check out the previous video on the basics of lists if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.